My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But do you know what's actually nuts? On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has a 43% from the critics and a 72% from the audience. Like, what the hell? Only 43% of critics like this movie? Give me a fucking break. That is just insanity to me. And, I actually think about May 2007 quite a bit. You had this movie come out to negative reviews. You had Spider-Man 3 come out to negative reviews. But both are just perfect blockbusters. So, yeah, I love this movie. It's one of the best blockbusters ever made. It's one of the best sequels ever made. It's one of the best movies ever made. It just fully delivers in every single area. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Johnny Depp is just terrific as Jack Sparrow. I like how you can tell he's still very indecisive about what he wants and who he is. There's one great line said to him. Well, it's not just about living for eternity. It's about living with yourself for eternity. And that's actually some deep shit. Could Jack actually live forever thinking about everything he has done, about the type of person he is? And I just find him to be a very interesting character where you never know what he's going to do next, and he's really funny and entertaining and badass. Like, this is one of the greatest characters in movie history, and Johnny Depp just plays him to perfection. Then we've got Orlando Bloom, and I just love this character. He's got his heart in the right place. He's a bit more backstabby here, but I really like how this character has progressed, and he's charming and likable and romantic, and his line delivery is always golden. Just truly a fantastic character. And Keira Knightley is also fantastic. I actually would have given her the Oscar for this movie back in 2007. Like, I love how she goes from this girl who's suffocating and unsure of who she is and what she wants to the freaking Pirate King. Like, one of the greatest character arcs in movie history, and I love how badass she is, how sweet she is, but also how she brings real emotional depth to her character. You can tell that her decisions at the end of the second movie have haunted her, and the scene where she sees her dad, she's just tremendous. Then we've got Geoffrey Rush, and it's nice to see him bring a different dynamic to this character because he is a good guy here, but he still feels like Barbossa. He's really funny and smart and entertaining, and I just love this character. He definitely excels. Bill Nye as Davy Jones continues to be one of the greatest movie villains ever. I love every line delivery of his. I love how he has to do what Beckett says, but he's constantly pissed off about it, and his character design is so cool, and he's menacing and scary, but you also get more of his backstory here, and there's real emotional depth, and he's just incredible. He truly is. Tom Hollander is also fantastic here. I just love the coldness he brings to this character. He just fully excels as this evil man, but also as someone who comes across as rational. And yeah, I actually find his character to be very underrated. Jack Davenport does a really great job. I love how you can see he's given everything he has ever wanted. But like he does go through a real redemptive arc here, and his death actually feels tragic. He becomes a good person too late, and he ends up getting nothing of what he wanted. Like, because really what he wanted was Elizabeth, and he shows you he could be that man all along, but he ends up paying the price for it. Just so good. Jonathan Pryce is barely in this movie, but he still leaves some emotional weight here. He does a great job. Charlon Fat, he actually is a very memorable side character. He does pretty good. Kevin R. McNeely as Gibbs is so good. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is when the two girls slap Jack at the end, and he slaps Gibbs, and he's going to slap Jack back, and Jack's just like, and he's just like, his facial acting there is so good, and I just love this character. Stan Skarsgård as Bootstrap Bill plays him very differently here. Well, he's lost, he's confused, and now he's actively seeking approval from the rest of the Flying Dutchman, and I thought he did a really great job. Naomi Harris has lots to work with here, and she does a great job, and Lee Ehrenberg and Mackenzie Crook continue to be as entertaining as ever. So everybody just fully delivers here. Like, you know, there's the SAG Awards, and they always have a category for Best Ensemble, and they always nominate the boring Oscar movies. But then you look at a movie like this, and this movie truly has one of the greatest ensembles in movie history. Like, everybody understands their character, everybody delivers, and it's just so well acted. And I also love the story being told. You've got Beckett, he controls Davy Jones, and he's gotten him to kill the Kraken, and they're taking over and killing all the pirates. And now Jack and Barbossa and the rest of the pirate lords have to get together and decide what their next step is. It's just very entertaining, and it's a movie where you're constantly trying to figure out what each character is going to do next. It's very character driven, and that's one reason why I love these movies. I also love the world building here. Like, you've got the addition of Calypso, and the 9 pieces out of 8, the Brethren Court, the Davy Jones locker with Jack like being dead, and all those crabs. There's so many weird decisions here, and I just love it. It feels like a lot of thought was put into the script of this movie, and I'll continue to praise this franchise for how well handled the backstory is. When you find out what happened to Davy Jones and why he removed his heart, and Calypso and everything with Jack and Beckett, there's actually a deleted scene that reveals a little bit more, but the story that we get of what has happened is just perfect exposition. Like, the writing here is just so good, and I love it. I also love how this movie sets the darker tone almost immediately. This is a Disney movie, and it begins with a kid getting hung. Like, you feel the weight of this story. You feel the emotion just like that. And I also kind of like how this movie shows that as the East Indian Trading Company takes over, there's less to explore, and the world is getting smaller. And there was this one really great moment where the Kraken is dead on the beach, and Jack and Barbossa have a discussion about this. And it's just a really beautifully done moment. So yeah, I also love like the Jack and Barbossa relationship in this movie. Like they're constantly competing with each other, and it's so funny. Like, oh, that's my ship. Well, it must be a tiny little thing behind the pole. Or when Barbossa has the giant telescope and Jack has the puny one. It's really funny, but I also like how at the end of the movie they finally agree on something when like they attack Beckett's ship. Just a really nice small moment. And then we get everything with Will and Elizabeth. And I love this. I love the one scene where Jack is just like, 4 of you tried to kill me in the past, 1 of you succeeded. And there's some great acting from Orlando Bloom here. Well, he looks back at Elizabeth and everything makes sense to him now. Like, it's like a 1-second scene, but it's so well acted. And he finally realizes why Elizabeth has been distant. And he asks her, like, why didn't you tell me about this? And she's like, it's not your burden. And he's like, well, I still build it. So good. But I really do love watching these two characters come together, and that scene where they're getting married during the final battle is just movie making at its very best. It's romantic and sweet and badass and funny, and when they come together for that kiss, the music picks up and it's like, it's euphoric. It is so unbelievably great. And Will ends up giving his heart to the chest. He becomes the captain of the Flying Dutchman, and his dad tells him, you'll have to spend 10 years doing your job, 1 day at sea. And Will says, 1 day is enough if you allow it to be, or something like that. And that final scene of Will and Elizabeth on the beach, and they're saying their goodbyes, and he gives her the chest, and he goes like, my heart always belonged to you anyways. Say what you will, it's cheesy, it's sentimental, I love shit like that. My heart was always yours. So good. I love this movie. I also love how it kind of shows like a difference between him and Davy Jones. Well, willingly gave it to the woman he loved, while Davy Jones was ashamed of his love and tried to run away from it. It actually says a lot about their characters. But when Will is going back to the Flying Dutchman and Elizabeth runs up to him and gives him one last kiss and the music picks up, man, this is where the franchise ended for me. Just such a great end to their story. And yes, I've seen the post-credit scene, and yes, it's also terrific. But there is some real emotion present throughout this movie as well. When Elizabeth sees her dad, and she's like, oh, we made it. And Jack's like, we didn't. Like, that scene is devastating, and I don't know, I kind of like how tragic this story feels with Will. Like, he gets the girl he always loved, but he can only see her 5-6 more times in his life. And then he'll just be doing this for eternity. Like, it's really sad. But I also love how these movies have an edge to it. I love the way the Flying Dutchman crew look. I love that scene where Davy Jones uses his tentacles to kill that one dude. That's a great scene. And I think this movie is really funny. I love how the pirates, like the Brethren Court, only ever vote for themselves. So it's always resulted in a stalemate. Like, come on, that is actually hilarious. I love the, who betrayed us? Someone who's not among us. Hey, where's Will? not Among Us. It's so good. And, oh, you needed the pole to get your dad. You needed me for the Brethren Court. Did no one come to save me just because they missed me? That seems great. This movie does make me laugh. But it's also time to talk about the action because this is one of the greatest action movies ever made. Like, no exaggeration. This is everything blockbuster filmmaking should be, and you've got lots of great scenes throughout this movie. I love it at the very beginning when they tossed their swords up through the cracks. I love the scene where Jack escapes from Beckett. I love so much of the action here. But the final battle, well, the Black Pearl and the Flying Dutchman are going at each other through a giant whirlpool, and they're swinging onto each other's ships, and it, like I said, Will and Elizabeth are getting married, and wow! This is what I want from movies. Like, it just is. It's so incredible. Like when Jack and Davy Jones are fighting among the cells and the camera's doing big sweeping movements. When Jack is spinning around and he's taking down other people and he's after the key and Davy Jones is chasing him. Holy shit, this entire finale is just euphoric. It's so freaking great. And the visuals are just remarkable. The movie is beautifully shot by Dariusz Wolski. The CGI holds up incredibly well. Like, I do believe this is one of the most expensive movies ever made. Like, $300 million budget, and it shows in every second. And yes, the CGI holds up incredibly well. The sound design and mixing is super impressive. The movie's incredibly well edited. Like, it's almost 3 hours long and it just flies by. It's a very easy movie to watch. Like, I was dead tired last night and I wasn't sure if I could stay awake for this movie, but it was actually really easy. The music by Hans Zimmer is some of the greatest music in any movie ever. Drink Up Ye Hearties, Up is Down, One Day, just the music elevates every moment. It adds emotion, it adds weight, it adds to the excitement, and it's just a masterclass work from him. So yeah, this movie's like so well crafted by Gore Verbinski, top to bottom. And one decision I've always loved is it's actually weird. I haven't actually talked about this yet, but I love the Disneyland ride, Pirates of the Caribbean. And after that first drop, there's some music and some dialogue that you hear on the ride. And when the Black Pearl falls off the end of the board, you hear that same bit of sound and dialogue. Like, he took the sound from the ride and put it in the movie, and it's just a very innovative, creative decision I love. Yeah, this movie's filled with terrific moments. The Up is Down scene is one of my all-time favorite scenes. It's just so good. The scene, well, Will goes to Barbossa and says, "We're lost." And he's like, good. See, we're trying to find a place that can't be found, so the only way to find it is to be lost, because if it could be found, then anyone could just find it like that. And it doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes perfect sense, and it's the exact kind of bonkers logic I love about these movies. I love that one scene where the dude just takes off his toe. I love when Davy Jones, Beckett, and Will meet Elizabeth, Barbossa, and Jack on the beach. It kind of had a Western vibe there, but it is so awesome that there's all these buckets so Davy Jones could be there. Like, it's so silly, but I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it so much. I love how by the end of the movie, you can tell that Jack isn't just pining over Elizabeth, he's actually really come to respect her. And I love Elizabeth's hoist the color speech. Like, it gives me chills every single time. So yeah, I love this movie. It is, simply put, one of the best movies ever made. Gore Verbinski just fully delivers in every area here. It is action blockbuster filmmaking at its very best. It is a pure spectacle. Everyone gives great performances. The characters are interesting. I love the world building and how character driven this movie is. It's nonsensical and silly and funny and emotional and romantic and edgy and kind of scary, and it's one of the weirdest, most ambitious big budget movies, and I love it. So yes, I'm giving Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End a 10 out of 10. When people talk about the best trilogies ever, they talk about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and The Godfather, and some of those rightfully so, but like, these movies should be at the top of that list. But Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.